Hey guys, welcome to searchmatters.com. This is Daniel Dessinger again. Today we are looking at a new website. It is dallasbikeworks.com. I just randomly searched a thought in my head and I picked a city to go with it. Here we are. My first impression of the website is that the photos took a moment to load. That loaded before I hit record, so I didn't get to show it to you. But I had a couple gray boxes where you see the images now, and that was only for about half a second to a second before they were populated with images. So I did notice that. It was, for a moment, I had a question: what is this site going to be like? Is it even complete? But it is. And then the second impression was the logo. I just saw it, and I'm on an iPhone 13, and I cannot tell without. I have to hold the phone quite a ways away, and then I really have to focus to read what the words are in the logo. And actually, I can't see it clearly, so I can zoom in like this by using the pinch zoom to see Dallas Bike Works, but I can't actually tell what it is just by seeing it. Also, I'd note that the shape of the logo, I think there's room for improvement here because the shape of the logo with the white space and then the hard image from left to right covering the entire screen, I don't love that break because of the logo itself. With a different logo, that could work, but with the current logo, I think the main image needs to actually incorporate white space in the background so it flows. Part of the background flows up into the top white space up by the logo and navigation. Next, I just see, like, if I just arrived here and I'm trying to figure out what I'm looking at, what kind of website I arrived at. I see the first two messages are shop for a new ride today and need a tune-up. I actually think that I saw a need a tune-up first. That's where my eyes were drawn to the center, and I think that might just be because the top message was overlapping the guy's face. I'm not sure if that's why, but I was drawn more towards the need a tune-up and the action of a guy, kind of checking out one of the wheels. I see the button is shop now up above, and there's details about tune-ups. And if you need a repair, there's service rates button here. So I'm going to go ahead and click that because I want to see if they actually do share. Okay, so that's great. This simplicity of this page helps, given kind of the just it's not cluttered on the homepage, but there is just something about the straight hard edges with the images and then the white text, which is not fully visible. It makes my brain work harder than I want to. But this page is clearer. I mean, I have white background. I have clear title, repair services. I have a list of pricing here. I can see both brake service, drivetrain service, wheel service, and so forth. I'm going to click back. Actually, real quick, while I'm on the service rates, I'm guessing there's not an order option here. I'm just wondering if they capture leads in any way, shape, or form from this repair services page. So I scroll down. It does not. So it's strictly informational. You can get an idea of pricing, and then you're going to have to go back, or I guess you could hit this navigation link, the hamburger menu, and you could pick something else here. But that's a lot of options. I prefer to go back to the home page, and if I need a repair, let's see. So I can buy a new bicycle or I can get mine repaired. So let's see details on a tune-up. So bicycle tune-up. So that's not the same as repairing it. Now I'm realizing that for the first time as I'm arriving on it, that a tune-up would be kind of like having your car maintenance. It's not necessarily that something's broken, but you are having things updated. So there's a bullet list here of things included in the tune-up, the pricing, a little additional information you need to know. Also, they will work on e-bikes that they don't sell, but they reserve the right to refuse service. I would probably bold that one sentence or that phrase. However, we reserve the right to refuse service for e-bikes we deem unsafe. That should be bolded. You want the eyes to be drawn to that because that's a really key point, and that would be the simplest way to get that point across. All right, so I'm going back to the home page just real quick. So we have a lot of footer links. nutrition is a strange link. I've just glanced at the links, and the one that stood out was the one that didn't seem to fit, and that is nutrition. I guess I'm going to look, but just morbid curiosity. Okay, so this is for the actual biker. And we have caffeine gels and energy gels, energy chews, fruit bars, sports drinks, energy drinks. I would change that I definitely change that word there. I might even put something like fuel for the body, but just nutrition sounds so clinical, and there's nothing else about the website that speaks that language. So it is a little off-brand, I think. I'm going to go ahead and click on the main button here. I'm assuming that the thing they'd like us to do most is to buy a bicycle. Whoa, especially given the fact that their bicycles can cost up to $7,000. I have not shopped for a bicycle in a very long time, so maybe this isn't news to you, but it is news to me. So I just clicked on bicycles. Now I see a list of bicycles. It did take a little while for the photos to populate. And I'm seeing, well, down here there's a $600 bike, then there's a $5,000, $1,000, $3,000, and then up here was $7,000. So there's a lot of different price points here. $400. All right, I would not know the difference necessarily. Let's see, show filters. Just curious what our categories are. So we can look by mountain bikes, road gravel bikes, kids bikes, hybrid comfort bikes, and electric bikes, which they have one of. Then there's clearly a ton of accessories and gear. Interesting. It would be interesting to know what's the difference between accessories and gear. So I'm just going to click once. So accessories includes gears and seats, pedals, okay, mirrors. Now that's accessories. Now let's click on gear. I just want to know, is that clothing? Oh, that's outfitting. Okay, that makes sense. So helmets, bike shorts. Got it. Okay. They have brands you can choose from and a price point up to $9,000. So I'm going to click out of that. I'm just going to click on the first one. I want to see what kind of details we have on the bike itself. So literally the first image is just the frame. I guess I'm going to assume, for just their benefit, I'm going to assume that for a biker, bicycler, cyclist, that's the word, I guess. For a cyclist, seeing the frame alone must be compelling, because I cannot for the life of me tell you, if I saw this image, I would not know what I'm looking at. That alone does not, I don't know what that is. Click the second one, and now I see it in the context of a fully assembled bike. So we have one very small paragraph of 2 sentences, 3 sentences, and it doesn't use any keywords. Oh, here we go. Okay, so now we have a description down below. So that was like kind of a marketing statement. And then here we go. Talks about the trail system, cross-country machine, didn't call it a bicycle, mixed with an all-day sled, okay. Bikes, I see one mention of bikes. Description of this composition and the quality of components. See, list of components. All right, so this is useful if I already know what I'm looking for. However, if I was going to try to optimize this for search, this does not hit the right keywords for it to ever show up in search results. Now let's see if there's any other components to this. So we have the description, we have the brief marketing statement, it's in stock, there at least there's one, and then we have one color option. You can choose between small and medium, and there's a quantity chain. Okay, so I can add to cart. Let's add to cart just to see what the cart looks like. Briefly, I'm going to click on the cart button at the top. It shows me that I have a $7,000 bike frame. I don't even get the wheels, I guess. They load it. How do you want to check out? Check out as a guest, since I'm not going to go through the process of logging in. So now I have first name, last name, email, info. I see. I'm not going to be able to go any further without filling this out. So we're going to pause there. Interestingly, I'm looking at FAQs. That's something that's probably going to help them in search if they have very many. I see 6 questions. I would quadruple this at minimum, the number of questions. There's got to be questions they commonly get asked that need to be added here. And that's going to be really important for search. Let's scroll down. I was looking at all the footer links. We have about us, the categories. I don't understand categories. So I think hours and contact is under the wrong section here in the footer. The categories, you have bicycle. These are things you sell. Bicycles, you sell accessories, you sell gear, you sell nutrition, though I would change the name there. You sell tools, tires, and you offer service. These are all financial transaction opportunities. But hours and contact, that belongs near the about section. So that is in the wrong place. So that needs to be moved out of categories. It needs to be moved down to information, to that subsection. Absolutely. That needs to happen today. Bicycle tune-ups, that needs to be moved. So, okay, let's scroll back down. Bicycle tune-ups. I can see why it's there, but let's see. Service, I want to see what the difference is between. What? I clicked on service and it took me to the FAQ. So just to verify, I am clicking this, the service button, clicking it. And it's redirecting me. Let's look at this. No, it's called service. That's a problem. Okay, so to clarify, we need the first. So let's really quickly summarize things that can be fixed on this website. Number one, I think that the logo is. I mean, that's the brand. So I'm sure they're not going to change it at this phase if they've been around very long. But for the website, the logo could be heavily improved, easier to read. The color scheme is the black and the blue don't really go super well together, and they don't match at all the blue bar above it. So you have competing blues which actually don't match; they clash. So there's a color fashion clash immediately. I'm gonna just click on it to get started. So back to the beginning, you have 2 different blues in the logo and above it, and those don't match. So that tells me that there is a style problem. There's a marketing, imaging, branding problem, so we need to deal with that. Second of all, I would change this image of the guy. I would create a white or fade into white background so that it leads up to the logo, so to give more white space rather than such a harsh white to dark background line of color for that main image. This one, I can move it. I didn't realize I could move it. I'm not sure why I can. Because I can't. Okay. But anyhow, this is where I'm talking about, this area. I don't have any problem with need a tune-up or need a repair. Those are fine, although the very next thing I would change is on each of these pages, I would have a call to action. So if you're going to show me about bicycle tune-ups, once I scroll down to here, immediately under the price, there needs to be a button. Schedule or order. So schedule your tune-up. I should be able to click a button right here and schedule that tune-up. If the company's not willing to institute a pay-for-service option on the website, which I do think is important, just to have the option, it's more professional. But in the meantime, if not, then I would have a button that says order now and leads to just the landing page with the phone number and quick information, things that you need to know immediately in order to schedule your tune-up. So I would have that set up immediately. Same thing for need a repair. If I'm going to click on need a repair and it's going to show me service rates, I need to be able to click a button that says schedule repair, and then it needs to take me to a page where I basically choose the things I think I need repair, or I can select a button like get an evaluation in case I need their assessment first, and then either have someone call me that day. Like it just means to create a lead generation into whatever software they're using so that someone calls me. And also it could just put get my information into their email and I can become a subscriber to their weekly or monthly newsletter. And that way we maintain relationship from this point on. So they're missing an opportunity to get my information somehow. So basically, even if it's just, hey, tell me you could reach out to me within 24 to 48 hours to schedule the service or the tune-up, but gather my lead information, my name and my email address, or even go further and ask for a phone number, but get that data so that now we're connected and you could reach out to me. And even if it takes me a little while to come back around and make a decision, you could begin speaking to me on a weekly or monthly basis about the sales you have, the expertise you have, the type of bikes, and the stories of the people who are using your bikes. Like highlight a couple of people who are really doing extraordinary things and get me hyped about your brands. All right. So those are options with lead when you gather my lead information. So first is the branding and the color combinations, fading the first image so that I can read the messaging a little bit easier. It is a dark section of the website. It is the only dark section. There's a lighter effect on these two images below, whereas this is a stark difference. So, and I'm just going to rotate my screen one time. Actually, I have to turn it off real quick. I'm going to switch it. So if I were to see this in a little bit more of a desktop view, this is what I'm going to see. I mean, it bothers me a little less because the location of the letters really matter. So now that it's not covering his face, it is a lot less of a distraction. So that means what needs to happen here, at the very least, is that someone needs to come in and create specific styles for this image when it goes to mobile. Because when you flip it vertically, this is what most people are going to see when they're looking at the website. The positioning of the messaging is in the wrong place, or it's visually blocked by the overlapping white and dark in the background. But it is better. If you see here, I can read it without it contrasting with his shirt or his face. So that makes a difference to me. All right, so the next thing I would do is I would go and I would add those lead gen buttons to either schedule or to give my information for someone to call me back for a tune-up or repair. That way you automatically have a point of contact and we can have an ongoing communication. You can start to influence me with your brand. And then a pretty big area of concern is when you get into these links, we need to update the location of some of these footer links. So hours and contact needs to go down, not under categories, but under information at the bottom. Then service needs to actually talk about service. If everything else, once you take hours and contact out of this top part of the list, service is the only one that ends up being an FAQ. So we need to take that out and possibly move bicycle tune-ups up, because once we clicked on that, there's actual pricing. It's more of a sales page. And so even though even though that page needs a call to action, it definitely is more of a category of something, a type of service. The fact that service is listed, but that there's no actual mention of what services are offered, and there's not even a pricing there, means it's in the wrong place. So we need to switch those. I would change and put repair services and bicycle tune-ups, move that up into categories, take service and hours of contact out. Service, just take it completely out because it doesn't even serve a function. Your FAQ page is already linked to right here. Right here is, it actually has, so I clicked on the FAQ and it's linking to service. So that's just somebody didn't realize what they were doing there. I would change that to FAQ, the URL, most likely. If you want to have a service page, you can, and it can be like the beginning, like the landing page for all services, and describe, like your history and the consistency of quality of work that you do. And then here's one type of service that links to that service page. Here's another service that links to that service page. Like you could describe in a paragraph or less your tune-ups and link to that, your repair services and link to that. And then so you basically have used a service page to link to all services. That's definitely the direction that I would head in. And that's good. And I'm going to stop there. I think that there's enough to work with there that this site could be very heavily improved. I hope that they get a chance to take a look at this and consider these. If they ever want to, if you have any follow-up questions ever, I'm available and ready to talk, because I really want to see people succeed. I want to see small businesses and local businesses succeed. So if I can help in any way, feel free to reach out. This is Daniel from searchmatters.com. Thanks for visiting, and we'll see you again soon.